Good evening, everybody. Another day in paradise. So, I wanted to share here with you guys my Substack, and my article that I'm going to read for you guys right now was published on the 1st of April, April 1st. And the first of the month, every month, I'm going to have an article published over on my Substack. So, basically, I want to encourage you guys to go over and check out my Substack. I'll have a newsletter. I'll have a newsletter that will be released the first of the month. Along with that, I'll have my article that will be published the first of the month. So definitely go check that out. The best of all, it's free, absolutely free. I encourage you guys to go check it out, stay engaged. What I want to talk about on this stream, as I said, is to cover this article that I published, The Imperative of Community Development and Cohesion Among Mulattoes. Okay. Definitely a good read, but I know that there's a lot of people who don't like to read, which is fine. Um, I can basically help you guys out with that. So, the imperative of community development and cohesion among mulattoes. The establishment of a cohesive and well developed community is paramount for the advancement of mulattoes. Fostering unity among individuals of mixed racial heritage is not merely a desirable endeavor, but an essential one. While the concept of community cohesion may appear straightforward in practice, it presents considerable challenges. Many individuals are deterred from pursuing this goal due to systemic obstacles and societal conditioning. However, I remain resolute in my commitment to this cause. My unwavering dedication to the autonomy of mulattoes fuels my determination, and I firmly believe that this mission is attainable. Nevertheless, achieving such a aspiration may span a lifetime, prompting introspection regarding how success in this endeavor should be measured. The pursuit of a cause greater than oneself is an admirable undertaking, particularly when that cause fosters collective empowerment and solidarity. Community development not only establishes new social bonds, but also provides individuals with a profound sense of belonging. That is my main mission here. This is why I'm here, why I'm speaking to you right now. To have that sense of belonging, identity formation, community cohesion. You belong. You found me. You're in the right place. This, I believe, is my life's purpose, what some might refer to as a calling or destiny, or your why. I can add that, throw that in there. People will often say colloquially, what's your why? It is imperative that other mulattoes develop a comparable passion for establishing kinship and mutual support among one another. Is what I always say, whatever sphere of influence, wherever you're at in society, your class level, your socioeconomic background, develop some familiarity, establish some cohesion, be nice to people, connect with people, reach out to your fellow mulatto wherever I'm at. And I know there's an opportunity for me to help somebody, and I see this mulatto. I'm like, hey, is there anything I can help you with? This is on and offline. Make it who you are to be that person. The challenges of establishing cohesion. As previously mentioned, achieving unity within the mulatto community is not as simple as it may initially seem. One might assume that fostering cohesion merely requires individuals to practice kindness and cooperation. However, in reality, social integration and collective identity formation are far more complex. A fundamental question arises: why is it so difficult to unite individuals under a common identity and shared goals? The need for social cohesion extends beyond mere interpersonal harmony. It is vital for the survival and prosperity of the group. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and the need for community is deeply embedded in our nature. One of the primary obstacles to unity among mulattoes is the lack of a distinct and widely recognized collective identity. Many mulattoes have been conditioned to identify solely as Black, a phenomenon rooted in historical and socio-political narratives that have sought to absorb their unique identity into a broader racial classification. This misidentification poses a significant barrier to community development, as individuals who do not recognize their own distinctiveness are less likely to support efforts aimed at fostering solidarity among mulattoes. Furthermore, such individuals may actively resist or undermine these efforts, often aligning themselves with the interests of other racial groups. Very critically important. In my observations, I have encountered persistent resistance from mulattoes who have been assimilated into the broader African American identity. These individuals, whether consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously, may act as impediments to the establishment of a cohesive mulatto community. Over the past 3 years that I've been on here talking, I have witnessed many individuals initially embrace this mission with enthusiasm, only to later retreat from their stance due to external pressures of internal conflicts regarding their identity. This reoccurring pattern underscores the necessity of cultivating a strong and unwavering commitment to community building initiatives. Strategies for building a mulatto community. A fundamental strategy in the formation of any community is a preservation and reclamation of its history. Hence, why I'm here talking to you guys on the Mulatto History Channel. The erasure of a people's history equates the erasure of their identity. This reality is particularly pertinent to mulattoes in the United States, where their historical contributions were our historical contributions have often been overlooked or deliberately obscured. It is imperative that we reclaim not only the term mulatto, ultra imperative. We reclaim the term mulatto, but also the rich historical legacy that accompanies it. By fostering historical awareness, we can instill a sense of pride and purpose among mulattoes, thereby strengthening communal bonds. This is the whole point. This is the whole purpose of this mission. Tying you guys, connecting you guys with the history, you have something to be prideful of. Your opposition is going to tell you, well, you don't belong. You don't have a group. You don't have an identity. That's what all your opposition will tell you. You don't have an identity. You don't belong. My whole goal is to provide you with that. You have a history. You have an identity. You have a community. It's up to you to contribute to that, to development and help build it. It's up to you. I'm one guy. I'm doing my part. It's up to you. Community building begins with storytelling and shared experiences. That's why we're here. We all have something in common. We're collecting data, comparing notes, and we realize, well, wait a second. There's a lot of similarities in what we're going through, what we're seeing and analyzing all over social media, the blogosphere, interwebs, all this stuff, even our everyday lives, because all this stuff affects us in our everyday lives, in the work environment, et cetera, et cetera. The information that's promulgated through social media, we're comparing the notes. And then we go to the workplace, our schools, wherever we go, we realize, well, wait a second, this stuff means something, the information that's out here. So that's why we're here. We're shared experiences gets us to ask the question. So engaging in dialogues about our collective past enables us to establish common ground and identify shared goals for the future. Do you want to continue to be a subordinate? Do you want to continue to basically go through another group and ask them, is this okay? Am I being anti this or anti that? But yet the same people you're asking if you're being anti anything, they're completely anti you. And you ask yourself, well, how did you get here? How did you get here to where they can hate you and be anti you, but any little thing you do is under a microscope? And then so this is the main question I'm trying to ask these mulattoes. Okay, the next step involves strategic planning. Okay, and most of this needs to be done offline. Most of that. Outlining clear objectives for where we as mulattoes wish to position ourselves within society. Reflecting on our past successes and failures allows us to construct a more sustainable and self sufficient future. Historically, let me go back up. Bingo. Historically, mulatto organizations such as the Blue Vein Society. Now, when I, excuse me, let me repeat that. I kind of jumped over myself. Historically, mulatto organizations such as the Brown Fellowship Society and the Blue Vein Society have served as models for successful community development. I agree. But there is some kind of pushback, or people are speculating that the Blue Vein Society was not entirely mulatto. It was more so a light skin or a mixed, right, African American adjacent type of org. Okay, and I get that. I mean, you guys, what I love about this whole endeavor is you guys share with me. I'm here. I'm teaching some people, but some people are teaching me. Like, I'm learning in the process as well. And that's what's beautiful about this endeavor. Is this is basically we're sharing. We're sharing. We're doing our part for the greater mission. Okay. And that's basically why I established this platform, to have a catalog for people to have access to information that's credible, to where it can empower them to ask the right questions. But what I'll say is, yeah, with the Brown Fellowship Society, but mulatto organization, but then people are speculating the Blue Vein Society was not entirely mulatto, which, okay, I get that. I understand. And I appreciate you guys kind of challenging some of those historical myths. We can go more into that later. I'm going to finish this article now. It is time to revive such initiatives. The whole point is community development, cohesion, establishing a code, and safeguarding our spaces from saboteurs. Without protective mechanisms in place, the mulatto community risks dilution, dissolution, and assimilation into other racial groups. This is the main thing for me, because when I've heard about some of these like spaces on the interwebs, especially YouTube, right? I'm not gonna name the space, but you guys that you're following over here, I got other people who are following me new, whatever, but even some of the old heads or lurkers, I guess I can say, where it's like there was never real specificity in like the goal, the mission, and who, like the audience, etc. For a guy like me, it's always been ultra specific about the target audience, the demographic I'm trying to reach. It's mulatto specific. There's some overlap with some other people. I get that. And they enjoy the content. They embrace it, they support it and endorse it, which is great. I appreciate that. But I've never shied away from the specificity, because if we don't do that, it's on us. If we don't add that extra layer of specificity, they will basically risk dissolution and assimilation. And these other racial groups, they will overtake you. Primarily, we can speak of within the African American framework, where that's historically always kind of been the case. This is why with this channel, it's mulatto history, where it's like, okay, we have a history, because a lot of Caucasians will tell African people, well, you don't have a history, you never invent anything. But what's interesting is now what we see with mulattoes, we have African people who are using the same rhetoric that Caucasians use to them. They're using on us now. Then you have Africans telling us, well, you don't have a history. You mulattoes don't have a history. It's even to a degree where they're telling that to like colored people in South Africa who are multiracial. You have some mulattoes in that group, but not all. But they're trying to tell them that they don't have a history, that they're just a colonial product. And you have a lot of African people in the United States or in North America. They're telling us the same thing, the same rhetoric. that Caucasians tell them. It's interesting how like those arguments and those stereotypes are pushed, they're filtered through, and they're telling us, well, you don't have a history, blah blah. That's why I created this channel, to let the mulattoes know you in fact have a history. Other people steal it and co-opt it from you. And it's part of this whole assimilation process where if you don't define things accurately, they get into your group, right? They dilute your think, they dilute your philosophies, everything. And they basically absorb you into their body politic. Okay. Continuing on, putting here, it puts, I put, to cultivate a thriving community, we must prioritize the creation of spaces dedicated to the mulatto identity and culture. And we are, of course, in that infancy stage, reclaiming, looking at this history, like even like a month ago or so ago, like one of my day one supporters, Flowers, shout out to her, telling Stewart, brought to my attention these like mulatto peppers. I had no idea we had fruits and vegetables named after us. And Flowers brought that to my attention. And this is why I'm doing this whole community, because like we're sharing information, stuff that I'm not even aware of. People bring it up to me. I'm like, wow, I had no idea. Had no idea this stuff. And they changed the name, of course, because that's what they do. They shadow ban the word, the name mulatto, so you guys do not associate with it. They want you to disassociate with it, to be a subordinate. And we realize, well, wait a second, we have fruits and mountains and land and people that are all identified with us. Like we have a culture identity, a tribe. Like we need to reclaim that. That is our power source. But there's a concerted effort to neutralize you. And this is what's very irritating for someone like me. What motivates me as well. It's irritating, but it motivates me to get up here and talk to you guys. But right here with the creation of spaces dedicated to mulatto identity and culture is everything I'm doing here is for this. This is my mission. These spaces must be safeguarded against external influences that seek to undermine our unity. Saboteurs, hardcore saboteurs who want to pin mulattoes against other mulattoes to destabilize us. And in all honesty, it hasn't really been effective at all because we're still up here. For me, a guy like me, 3 years in the game, it's like, yeah, you've thrown everything, the kitchen sink at me, but I'm still here. So and I'm growing. Of course, there's other content creators who always, that's the game. Like the word, when you're mulatto centered and mulatto focused, they're going to shadow ban you, especially on TikTok. So YouTube is not even really that bad at all. I've always said that. That's why I blab my mouth mostly over here than the other platforms, because it's like on TikTok, they really don't like you. But yeah, like the spaces are often, undermined. This is one of the main issues. But everything they've done, it hasn't been effective. I've only grown out of everything. Establishing cultural institutions, social organizations, and economic networks will serve as pillars for long-term community sustainability. I'm one guy. I tell people all the time, I'm not special. I never try to act like I'm special. I'm just one guy with a microphone, but I'm doing my part. Only through deliberate and unwavering efforts can we achieve the cohesion necessary for the flourishing of mulattoes as a distinct and autonomous community. That's my goal. This is my goal. Yeah, guys, go check out this Substack, this article here. A bunch of people, I don't have the stats in front of me. I could share with you guys. I think close to 100 people have at least read it or kind of glanced at it. It shows me like the views, like on everything, right? You can see the views on TikTok and the views on YouTube, the views on X, Twitter, and all that, Instagram. So on Substack as well, similar. They share with me the views. I think I have close to 100. I can double check. But I wrote this a month ago, and my new Substack, my new article is going to be published in a couple days, 2 days, on Thursday, the 1st, May 1st, right? So, and with that, I'm including as well a newsletter because I want to launch this newsletter to add something to this as well. So, I definitely encourage you guys to subscribe to my Substack. It's totally free. It's another medium of information. Love to write. I speak more than I write, but I do love the medium of writing and journaling. Actually, attending university, going to college is kind of what helped me develop that passion for writing. And then even just traveling, when I go on my travels, I have time alone. If I'm at a museum or in nature somewhere, I'll sit down and jog and write my ideas and thoughts. And so I really developed a passion kind of for writing. So I'm a pseudo kind of journalist. I'm just a regular guy out here with the passion. But I appreciate if you guys check out my Substack. I want to build that up, develop it, and I think it's very critical. It's very critical that we get articles out here that are mulatto centered. You have a bunch of articles out here that talk about biracial and bi and multiracial, and they're not even the articles are written by people who are not us. They're not mulattoes. We need mulatto centered discussions, mulattoes writing these articles that are mulatto centered. We have people who are not mulattoes writing articles about us. How is that? It's the same thing with YouTube or these video platforms where people are making videos talking about mulatto identity. They're not one of us. They should not be talking about us. That's like me talking about them. They don't like that. They'll try to G check us and all this stuff, right? So we have the opportunity now right in front of us to be our own voices, and we have to use what's the opportunities that are in front of us. This is another opportunity. So I wanted to basically promote that, promote the Substack. That's why I hopped up here. Check out the article. I have this article linked in my description. And just to encourage you guys that in a couple of days, my new article will be dropping along with the newsletter, which I want to initiate. It's going to be a monthly thing. Every month, I'm going to drop my newsletter. You guys can subscribe to that via Substack. It's completely free. Guys, stay in touch. Get connected with the mulatto community. We are a growing community, and it's a beautiful thing. And shout out to all of you who support me. I greatly appreciate that. And so, with that, I want to share a comment in conjunction that I received from a huge supporter of mine, Renata Mulatto, who on this channel, my last stream I did like a few days ago or several days ago, I covered one of her articles on Substack because we're mutuals there, or we're mutuals kind of everywhere basically. But she's more of a literary and journalistic skill set than me, you know. So, but she has articles as well. But yeah, I like to write as well. I like journalism. It's fun. I know the Owl Show does as well. There's other people here connected. I know Afropean Monica. She has her own publishing company as well. And there's many other people out here. I know you guys. If I apologize if I didn't mention your name, but I'm connected with a lot of you guys all over the kind of social media blogosphere. And there's a lot of writers within the spaces that I'm connected with in a space that I'm creating for myself. This mulatto centered specific space that centers mulattoes. So yeah, we have a lot of writers here. I really appreciate that. So I saw this comment from Renata Mulatto. She posted one of my videos. Very good comment. I've been waiting to talk about this, and this is the perfect opportunity to talk about it. So I'm gonna talk about it now. Let's check it out. She puts here, it is wrong for Black people to be the ones teaching mulattoes their history because they will always act in self interest, framing the narrative in a way that prevents mulattoes from self identifying. This is critically important. This is why this whole history component, we have to be the stewards and narrators of our own history. Hence why this channel is so incredibly important, where we can't have outside forces who are not a part of us because they look at you as you are an extension of them, where you could be a minority amongst them and they can control the microphone and they'll claim you if they can use you, right? Like a Frederick Douglass or Barack Obama, W.E.B. Du Bois, Charles Drew, et cetera, et cetera. But if they don't have any benefit using you or you bother them in some way, like a Drake, you outperform them, then they kick you out. Just like a Patrick Mahomes, there's kind of some controversy now. This football quarterback superstar, Patrick Mahomes, where he made a comment about nappy hair. And you have people trying to like frame him as a bad guy because he voted for Trump because of his political views or who his partner is. He married a Caucasian woman or his mother is Caucasian and all this stuff. But the man's mulatto, right? So other people see that they pick and choose when to claim the wins he achieves. If he does something good, he wins all these Super Bowls. Oh, well, he got a black daddy, right? But all of a sudden he makes a comment. He says nappy hair, right? All of a sudden they bring up who he voted for, who his wife is, or who his mom is. All see, that's we cannot allow them to play that game with us. Too many of you guys do, and you sit there and reason with them. The reason why I created this platform is to let you guys know you don't even have to deal with them. Don't even reason with them. It's not their business. They're not a part of the group. We got our own situation going on here. Let's build upon it. Okay. So I just want to bring that up, that example with the whole Patrick Mahomes thing, because I'm not going to make a video or even further comment on it. It seems so like nonsensical and trivial. The guy made a comment about his own hair. He referred to his own hair as nappy hair. And you have people who are not mulatto crying about this mulatto talking about his own hair. It's like, because they think they can speak for you and against you at the same time. And it's very disgusting. This is why it's crucial that we have our own voices. We have the microphone. We talk about our own history. And they're going to hate you. Trust me. I don't have a lot of haters. I got like one guy who hates me. Okay. And maybe a couple other kind of spectators who are whatever. They claim to hate me, but they secretly admire me. That's kind of the pathetic part about all of it. So continuing on, putting when black people control the historical lens, they reinforce the idea that mulattoes are simply an extension of blackness rather than a distinct group with its own identity and history. And that's critically important. I love how she phrases everything. This is what it is, right? When they control the historical lens, when they talk about mulatto achievement, mulatto history, they reinforce the ideas that as mulattoes, we're just a part of their group. We're just a quote unquote subgroup. They literally use that term. Sub is the prefix for underneath or below. That is very disrespectful and disgusting to refer to a demographic or people as quote unquote sub. But they'll say that publicly. Well, you're just a subgroup. You're an extension. You're part of you're under the umbrella. They'll use that as well, that phraseology. Under an umbrella of blackness. I did not sign up for this and I don't accept it. Like if I have to be the bad guy with my little social media following, so be it. I don't accept it. That position. A lot of you guys, you don't accept either. That's why you're tuning in and you are vibing with the content. Appreciate you guys. If you guys like the content, please hit the like button. Let me know that you appreciate the message so we can continue doing what we're doing over here. But yeah, what this lady says is critically important. Like we have to tell our own narratives, right? We have to. Otherwise, they will seek to erase you. So she continues on. She puts this erasure serves their interest while keeping mulattoes from fully understanding their place in society, fully understanding our place in society. We are a distinct racial and ethnic group, and we need to embrace that. And there's no turning back. Our numbers are only growing in this country, in this nation. We can United States America, but even in the UK and other places as well. Like we're only growing. It makes no sense. It's not working out. That's why you see all these kind of issues popping up. The fake kind of colorism arguments, the fake featureism arguments, right? All that stuff is popping up because they're not addressing real issue that mulattoes are not a part of their community. Mulattoes, we are our own distinct group. We have to embrace this now. And I'm here to help you guys. If you don't like my delivery, my message, that's perfectly fine. Please go find somebody else who will help you out with that. But yeah. So continuing on, she puts arguing that the term mulatto is invalid because figures like Halle Berry, Lenny Kravitz, and Barack Obama do not identify as such is a flawed argument. Very flawed. Very flawed. These are just these are pop stars. It's regardless. There's too many of us who identify as mulatto, and you're seeing that in real time. I'm just the more vocal one in social media. I'm the more vocal one. But my goal, my job here is to inspire these other people, these other creators who will develop. And I've already done that. I've already accomplished that. People who I've seen people here, I'm not going to name names, who when they first came across my channel, they hated the word mulatto. They made videos targeting me, talking about they don't, the word mulatto, you're a mule, blah, blah, blah. But now all of a sudden, a couple years later, they proudly identify and call themselves mulatto. What happened? Who was it? Was it that rapper, the ratchet rapper, Miss Mulata, who inspired them? No. Because initially she kind of inspired me because I was like, damn, we have visibility. She's speaking my vibe. And I right away when I saw her name, Mulatto, I was like, I know exactly where she's coming from. The fusion of European African. So what I'm saying is, yeah, I've seen these creators who like, there's a couple of them who like they hate everything, but they realize they can't win this argument. They even some of these old heads. I don't like that word mulatto. I don't like, and they realize they look at the millennials or Z's. It doesn't matter, bro, what you like and don't like. These younger people, they're running with it. They're taking with it, running with it. It is what it is. And it's moving forward. Literally, it is what it is. They don't have a say. And I know somewhere along the line that, yeah, I definitely had an impact and influence in this little kind of small circle, small part of the web. Okay. Where, yeah, people are embracing the use of the term mulatto. Okay. You're either with it or you're not. If you're not, we're not talking about you. We're not even worried about you. You're not even a part of our spot. So, and these other like celebrity characters, if they don't identify like Halle Berry or Lenny Kravitz or Barack Obama, it's like, okay, well, that doesn't matter to us. There's still a ton of mulattoes who identify as mulatto. We're more focused on them, right? Continuing on, she puts, their refusal to use a term does not mean it is wrong. Exactly. They do not have the authority on everything. An actress like Halle Berry, a guitarist, musician, Lenny Kravitz, or a Barack Obama, they're not the authority on this. Their refusal to use the term does not mean it is wrong. It simply reflects the fact that they were never taught an honest historical narrative. Yeah, even your presidents, even your corporate heads and leaders of state, they were taught false history in a lot of respects. I mean, you guys know this is very plausible. Look at your current leaders around the globe. It's not just the United States, because I could talk crap on Trump all day. I kind of laugh and whatever on like my X account because it's too easy with Trump, right? But like the leaders around the planet, in Europe, in South America, and Caribbean, all whatever. You can criticize your leaders and look at their flawed logic and a lot of things. Like they were taught false history in a lot of senses. A lot of them, they're basically proxies or tools for these corporations. We get that. I'm not going to get into all the political stuff, but we get that it's an honest reality that people you might think, well, they're so successful, they're superstars and multimillionaires and the kings and presidents of countries, but at the same time, they're oftentimes funneled. There's a lot of false information funneled through them to kind of control them in a sense, but they're not always taught the right history, not to their own fault in many regards as well. But it's our responsibility, those of us here in the independent media, to kind of help re-educate people, present the information. Their refusal, yeah, of the term does not mean it's wrong. It simply reflects the fact they're never taught honest historical narrative. Their lack of identification is not an individual choice free from influence, but the result of a system that stigmatizes the word mulatto. Is critically important. Their lack of identification is not an individual choice. It's not individual choice free from influence, but it's a result of a system that stigmatizes the word mulatto because they're shamed. They've been pushed to be ashamed to identify as mulatto because they're guilt shifted to make it think like, well, you're trying to separate yourself from blackness. But by acknowledging that you're mulatto, you're proudly telling the world, well, I'm actually 50% black, like I'm half black. That's part of your heritage. You're the fusion. I don't like to say the whole half or 50, the percentile kind of reference. It's more so the fusion of European and African, but in a distinct, measurable way. because we have to be careful because you're going to have interlopers and saboteurs who are not mulatto identified who got like 10%, you know, non-African DNA, and they're going to say, "Well, I'm mulatto too. I'm biracial too." No, you're not. Sorry, buddy. Okay. Over here on these parts will, and then they'll push the whole colorism argument, but very flawed because the whole thing is it's not about color over here. It's about heritage, identity, and community and understanding. Something a lot of other people they're not giving you, they're not offering you that. But you come over here, you listen to me, you listen to my voice and my supporters, you realize, well, wait a second, the message resonates with you. You realize this is what it is. You found a tribe and you're here, you belong. So that's the critical thing here is that there's influences in society, in the systemic influences that have stigmatized the word mulatto to where a lot of mulattoes are dissuaded from embracing the terminology, like a Halle Berry or even Lenny Kravitz, or even modern times we have like a Zendaya. And it's not just to pick on them, the celebrities, but just everyday people. Well, isn't that a bad word? That's a bad word. Don't say, why are you saying that? There's more appropriate innocuous terms. Let me guess, who told you that? No, mulatto is who you are. If you want to embrace it, if you don't want to embrace it, that's on you. But those of us who embrace it, we're going to move forward in a positive direction. The result is not the term itself. It's not the word. And I'm trying to tell people, like, I don't care. Like, it's not even the word that's so important. I'm so in love with the word mulatto. To me, when a mulatto identifies with mulatto, that makes me very proud. Like, I'm like, okay, we're moving in the right direction. Especially I see a female. I see a mulatto woman who's mulatto identified. And like, I'll give a shout out to like a lady like Emily. And there's many others, like even Beatrice in Brazil, the Parda woman, and even Afropean Monica, and even Renata Mulata. Like there's a ton of ladies I see, like, and they identify as mulatto, and it's like that makes me very happy because it's not just the word. Like I'm not fixated so much on the word. Oh my God, mulatto, it's such a special word. It's the social construct that discourages its use. The fact that people don't want you to use it, but you have proud mulattoes who still use it and embrace it. That unwavering, you know, mental fortitude is what makes me proud. Is they're pushing against the false narratives. They're pushing against the system that wants to dissuade them, stigmatize them, and maneuver them into subservience. That's what it really is. When I see mulattoes embrace the word mulatto, it's just a word. Everyone else has words and labels, right? Everyone else has words and labels. But for us, people seem to have an issue with it. They have an issue with the word we're using. Why is that? Because they look at you as a population they can maneuver and influence and control. And we've had enough of it. The people over here, this spot in the internet over here, like I've had enough of it. I've been had enough. And a lot of you guys who are supporters, you have as well. Let me read that again. The issue is not the term itself, but the social construct that discourages its use. Why is it that people who are not even mulatto are more offended by the word mulatto than us? Ask yourself that. And I always mention that as well. I always reference that. Like, how is it that someone, you're not even mulatto, but you don't like the word because they're afraid we're not going to identify with them and they'll lose influence or they'll lose their quote unquote punching bag, right? Their confidence builder. That's what it is. That's what it is. And for me, it's very insulting that someone who's not mulatto doesn't like the word mulatto. It's very insulting. But this is what we're dealing with. Our modern mission is to challenge this stigma. This is why my branding, everything I'm doing is mulatto. It's to challenge this stigma. And like I said, for me, I give kind of reverence and, praise to even the rapper. You can say what you want about her, the music and all this stuff, the audience she's catering to. But she changed the name. I get it. But she initially used the term mulatto and said she's mulatta or Miss Mulatto, whatever. And what she did with that is signaled to the rest of us, me included, she was able to break some stigma with the word. She got pressured and caved in, just like we see the South African colored Tyla doing. It happens to a lot of people, sadly, a lot of women, sadly. We see that. But at the same time, it's challenging the stigma, challenging a stigma. That's critically important. Reclaim our identity and restore the term mulatto in its rightful place in history. Beautifully written. I want to talk about this comment. I think I went as long talking about that comment as I did my own article I published because she's an excellent writer, Renata Mulatto. I'm really impressed with everything she writes. Shout out to you guys in the chat. I'm going to end this pretty soon. I'll check out some of your guys' comments real quick, but I want to play this video. It's from a gentleman, mutual with over on, I think he subscribed to his channel as well. And he follows me. We're mutuals over on TikTok as well. But I'm sharing a video clip of his that he published on TikTok, and I really like it. Resonates with everything we're talking about here. So I'm going to share with you guys. Check this out.
It's not acceptance when they're constantly suspicious of you. It's not acceptance when they attack you for acknowledging your other side. It's not acceptance when you have to censor yourself. It's not acceptance when they use your other side to ridicule you. It's not acceptance when you can't have different opinions. It's not acceptance when they constantly remind you that you're not like them.
Yeah. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Mulatto cat. I'm going to play that again and pause it and provide some commentary on it.
It's not acceptance when they're constantly suspicious of you.
It's not acceptance when they are constantly suspicious of you. And that was definitely one of the motivating factors for me to hop up on here and provide content for you guys, was this whole, like, they pushed the Chancellor Williams, the anti-mulatto conspiracy theories. Well, I don't know, you talking to them white folks when you turn around, they're like the biggest, white rear end kind of worshipers and kissers. But they project it onto you, and they push a lot of these conspiracies and false narratives. That was very motivating for me. I was like, wait a second, we have to challenge that rhetoric that they're pushing on us. They want to claim our history, claim all our wins, but at the same time, they want to tell us they don't trust us or we got to prove ourselves to them. No way, Jose, right? No way. That's not working out. Not for me. And for a lot of you guys, you feel the same way. That's why you tune in.
It's not acceptance when they attack you for acknowledging your other side. It's not acceptance when you have to censor yourself.
It's not acceptance when you have to censor yourself. You have to go along kind of to get along. That's the phrasing, right? Go along, get along. That's not acceptance when you have to censor yourself. You can't fully just say what you want, what you believe to fit in with the group, right? That's not acceptance.
It's not acceptance when they use your other side to ridicule you.
It's not acceptance when they use your other side to ridicule you.
It's not acceptance when you can't have different opinions.
It's not acceptance when you can't have different opinions. They try to censor mulattoes, right? You have a difference of opinion, all of a sudden, well, you must have a white mom. You must, you were raised to be anti this or anti that. No, I just have a different opinion than you. That's all it is. That's not acceptance. That's abuse. Okay. And you guys got to address it as that.
It's not acceptance when they constantly remind you that you're not like them.
It's not acceptance when they constantly remind you that you're not like them. And he has Drake's image up there. Because Drake, the whole thing with the whole Drake and Kendrick, I've talked about it plenty. It's the macrocosm of what you see in the everyday level, where they'll dance and sing to you and they'll praise you for 15 plus years. They'll give you all that. But as soon as you get too much shine and they can't humble you, because what they want to do is humble you. They want to beat you down and humble you and put you back into a position where they can feel like they have some authority and power over you. Right. Once they can't do that, then all the slandering campaigns, defamation campaigns occur. That's all it is. And with a guy like Drake, they can't beat him. So they have to destroy his image. This is how they feel, make themselves feel good about themselves. I'm gonna play it one more time so you guys can hear it. Shout out to the guy who posted it. This is not my video. Gentleman Mulatto Cat over on TikTok, and I believe he subscribed to the channel as well. So if he puts a comment, he gets full credit. It's all him, and I really appreciate what he's doing. So I want to share it here with you guys.
It's not acceptance when they're constantly suspicious of you. It's not acceptance when they attack you for acknowledging your other side. It's not acceptance when you have to censor yourself. It's not acceptance when they use your other side to ridicule you. It's not acceptance when you can't have different opinions. It's not acceptance when they constantly remind you that you're not like them.
Boom. Super solid. I really like that. I just wanted to share with you guys. Shout out to you. Appreciate some of the commentary and comments you're posting. I think one of my last videos on my other channel was a response to you. The workplace thing, yeah, I get it, man. The Hispanics, I'm from California. A lot of times the Chicanos, Latinos, they're more racist than the whites, Anglos. I get that. I've experienced that firsthand. Mulattoes, we're half white, we're half black. So we can kind of look at things logically and see, well, we're not going to group a whole group of people in a manner because like we have family members who are whites, who are Anglo. For me, family members who are African, pure black. And so like we've been raised, we're the least racist people, but they do want to try to position us as being the most racist and untrustworthy. Like that's the stereotypes they have. I'm going to talk way more about that primarily on my other channel. This one, I want to keep it more historically based, right? But the more kind of political social commentary would be on the Mulatto Vanguard channel. But yeah, I saw your comment, like, and I agree, man. Like I'm from Southern California, Los Angeles area, the suburbs, Orange County area, and it's like a lot of them, yeah, the Hispanic people you work with, they're very racist, right? And but the goal for us is not to try to be in with them and to work in their environment, try to wiggle our way in. We got to do our own stuff. Asian people don't play that. And I don't know if you're from California, but the Vietnamese and the Filipinos and Chinese, they're not trying to work in an all like Hispanic spot or an all white spot. They get their own situation popping, if I can say that colloquially, right? Even like people from the Middle East or North Africa, Arabic people, they're not trying to go in, like they get their own situation popping. They find an industry, a network that works for them, and they get into that. Mulattoes have to do the same. We have to find out where we're good at, what we bring to the table, network with other mulattoes. Let's get into that endeavor. Okay. Let's take our profits, let's reinvest it into our enterprise, and let's build upon that. Let's hire other mulattoes. We got a lot of mulattoes out here looking for jobs, looking for opportunities. Let's do that. We can all do that. It's the men. The men have to do this. We're not going to be out here complaining about this group is racist towards us. We can analyze, look at the news. That's my whole position here at this media endeavor. Look at the news, look what they're saying, report it, keep you guys informed. But that should not stop us from making a buck, making money, and reinvesting that money into us, into the future. So our goal should not to be try to integrate and work with all these. We need to be collaborative and network and do trade and do business with everybody. But we cannot be in a position of being victims and complaining. Oh, we got the kind of shitty deal out of situation. We can't do that. We cannot be that type of demographic. We have to get the best deal out here and look at the reality of the situation. Like, we can figure this out. It's not complicated. We know what we're good at. We have skills. We have people we can connect with. Let's do that. You said your dad was mulatto. Shout out to you, Kathleen. I appreciate you being over here and supporting me. Mulatto has a lot of history. Yes, indeed. Around the planet. My mom had Native American. I am also being asked, what do I have in me? My son was born extremely fair, straight skin. Renata Mulatto is great. I hope to see you two collaborate. And then I even hear one time white people was trying to claim Patrick Mahomes. I talked about it on my other channel like a year ago, or maybe a couple years ago. I can post it again if I need to in the future. It was on Facebook. I saw all these white guys, white men, like, oh man, he's white as F. He's hella white. Look at him, because they saw how black people were trying to claim him as a black quarterback, and white people were like, no, 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 he's one of ours. Because they love football. They root for football. And they were really, it's crazy. They're trying to claim Patrick Mahomes one of them. So they'll play that tug of war game. It doesn't happen that often. As you know, most of these mulattoes, they're basically, most of us, especially if we're competitive, they position us to be, oh, you're with the blacks or you identify with the blacks, right? Or they'll outcast you because they know blacks are going to be very competitive and they see you as successful. So be like, you don't have a place to go. But with the Patrick Mahomes, because he married a white lady, they see his kids. So they're like, okay, well, he's one of us. He's been absorbed and they want to root for him. He's like their trophy kind of quarterback guy. So he's a unique case, Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, I saw that a bunch of commentary. I had a little short clip. If you go to my Mulatto Vanguard channel, go to my shorts. It's from like 2 years ago. So you got to scroll back. And I published all these comments that I saw on Facebook. It was all white people. We're like, well, he's not. How come because he's half black, he's just black? That's BS. Like, no, he's got a white mom. And like, they're really trying to claim this dude. Interesting. Before they saw his hair. Before they saw his hair. His hair's regardless. I mean, they look at him, his mom, his partner. Yeah. Renata Mulata is great. Yeah. I think he put that comment twice. She's more than great. She's amazing. Renata Mulata, shout out to her. You put, I have had more problems with my black culture. School is tough. Yeah. Yeah. Biracial people need to make their own movies just like black people did with Sinners. Yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Orion Studios says all light skinned people are mixed because there were no light skinned black Africans on the slave ships. Yeah. Well, how do they identify? Do they identify with Bantus? That's the important thing. Like, you can call yourself light skinned and you're mixed, and okay, you're mixed. Okay, I get it. But do you identify with mulattoes? If not, if you think you're going to use mulattoes to help darker skinned people who, I'm not saying all, but the ones who are like anti mulatto, you want to help them out and try to use us. Like, it's not, those of us over here, we're not playing that game. So, because I've been seeing that for 3 years now, since I've even jumped into this discussion, this whole like light skin thing and the mix and all this stuff. It's like, okay, mulatto's ultra specific. I get it. Like, everyone is not just quote unquote black. There's a lot of nuances with all the different ethnic and tribal groups with like African people. I get that. But it's funny, I see people who come over here and they want to like try to pull us back in to serve their kind of darker skin compadres. I just think it's funny. It's like, well, the mulattoes over here, we're doing our own thing unapologetically. Okay. And that's kind of where we're at. Ask, I am mixed with my mom and dad. Okay. Guadalupe has a female mulatta hero name, LA Mulattress Solitude. That audio and what you said was 100 facts. Hey, shout out to you, DC. I was with my Mexican friend. We went to the club. The Mexican did not know that I have black in me. He said horrible things about blacks. I kept my mouth closed. Yeah, interesting. White people claiming Patrick Mahomes since when? Yeah, check out my Mulatto Vanguard channel. I found it over on like Facebook. They were all like, because they're in a Super Bowl situation. Because this is prior to the Super Bowl. This is when the Seahawks, maybe it was a year ago or so, whatever. Mahomes, the Seahawks, and they were trying to be like, this is the first time in history where two black quarterbacks, and there were a lot of like white people. I swear to God, check out my video I found on Facebook. They were all like, well, Patrick Mahomes is white as F, how come because he's half black, it just makes him black? That's BS. Like, I screenshotted these comments. Like, what do you say? I didn't include the names of the people on Facebook. I just looked at the commentary. not the names or the profile picture. I was just look what these people are saying, and they're already verified. I saw them, my own personal account. Like these people are white people, and they're like upset with the fact that people were trying to blackwash or one drop Patrick Mahomes. They were trying to claim him because he's a part of the team they want to root for the Super Bowl. So it did happen, but it's a rare case. Maybe that's why you're surprised. It's a rare case. They rarely will ever claim mulattoes. They might claim that Cuban guy, Enrique Tarrio, one of those guys or a Mahomes, but rarely ever they will try to, right? Yes, I agree. I'm still looking at places for strategic relocation. Definitely. Honestly, don't know where I fit in. Yeah, just ask questions, look around, and yeah. Mulatto people even invent things, and black people claim it as black invention. Exactly. Precisely. Shout out to you guys. About just about an hour in to this. I'm gonna end this actually right now to stay on time. They claim the singer from Cannons, Michelle Joy. She's mulatto. Yeah, they claim all the mulattoes who are artists and who are prominent in society. Of course, yeah, right. If they can claim something to make themselves look good and give them visibility, they want more visibility to non-African groups. So they want to use mulattoes as that buffer to be more palatable. So they'll co-opt your history. And it's like subconsciously they do that. They will steal your history, steal your accomplishments, claim you, but they'll turn around and call you slurs and exclude you. And it's very like nasty, the kind of colonial and oppressive mindset a lot of them have. They've taken that on from their masses. What their masses have done to them, they'll do to you. They'll turn around and tell you, you don't have a history. They'll claim your wins and steal at your accomplishments and steal for their own. Isn't that what they claim that white people do to them? They claim that white people stole like blues or stole jazz music and claimed it as their own, but they do that to you. Everything you do that's good, a mulatto, they steal it from you and claim it as their own while they kick you out of their tribe. It's like you guys got to start questioning that more. Like I get a lot of heat because I question and I raised the question, but more of you definitely need to ask that question. The Haley Steinfeld character in Sinners is being called a tragic mulatto, but she was a quadroon. I feel like people are calling the Mary character a tragic mulatto just to insult us specifically. Oh yeah, any opportunity they can to insult you, they will, right? And it's for us, this is good because it signals to us that we're not the same as them, which I've been telling people before Kendrick Lamar. Before Kendrick Lamar made it cool, made a little dance hip hop song, I've been telling people that. And they're basically like, oh, just shut up, just, you just don't know where you belong and all this stuff. No, I kind of figured it out. I'm way ahead the curve, you know. But yeah, they're just when they make these like racist remarks, tragic mulatto, or you don't have an identity, another racist remark they make, they're just affirming that you're not a part of their group. It's up to you. What are you going to do about it? That's it. I look at a light skinned black the same as I see a redheaded white person. Both are discriminated by their groups as a certain feature, but at the end of the day, they have a seat at the group's table. Yeah, they're still a part of the black group. It's not the same as mulatto. That's why with Bunny, like I'm a big supporter of you. Your commentary, you're like kind of like a day one. I think so. You said you've been watching me from day one, but yeah, I mean, you're right on par with like a DC who's in the chat or like a Renata Mulata and other people out here who are supporters because you get it. You see the nuance where it's like, look, they still have a seat at the table. There's still enough black passing to where the darker skinned people are comfortable with them. The in their group, that group, they look at us mulattoes with suspicion. They look at us as a threat. They're afraid that see, that's the thing, is we have to lay that distinction. And you understand that. And that's why I support what your message, what you're saying. Yeah, and they're gonna continuously try to fool us, and I think what it is because they wanna pull us back in. in a very subtle and nice way to pull us back in to be mules and subordinates to them. And for me over here, we're already like, look, we're not a part of what you guys are doing over there. We don't identify with you. Okay. We're finding each other every day. We're connecting. We're building our networks. That's it. And it's going to be a continuous thing because, a lot of people who are, whatever, they're going to find the channel, find the space, find a spot. And it's going to be the same rotating kind of circular situation where they're going to try to maneuver mulattoes to serve other people's interests that don't center us. And a guy like me, they're going to run into a brick wall and realize it's no bueno. It's not happening over here. Yeah, the Nat Turner movie. I haven't seen that movie yet, honestly. Literally, the whole cast of Sinners is dark skin, yeah. But they're hating on the one mulatto. That's typical. Yes, been here since day one. Shout out to you. Appreciate your support as always. Said blacks would probably point to someone who looks like Russell Westbrook as a light skinned black. Yeah. They're going to be calling Michael Jordan light skinned black in no time because that's basically how twisted the game is today. Shout out to you guys being here this evening. I just wanted to share with you guys the Substack article I published like literally 29 days ago, the first. But my new Substack article is going to be published on the first. So in 2 days, on Thursday, I'll have my Substack up there. So guys, check out my Substack. Here's my dashboard here. Some of the articles I just kind of started out fresh. Actually, the beginning of this year, want to kind of promote all this stuff here over on Substack. So definitely go check out my Substack. Sign up for the newsletter completely free every month. Have access to that. Another medium to connect with. Okay. As always, appreciate your guys' support. Love you guys. Appreciate your advocacy and your support. And I'll talk to you guys pretty soon. All right. So sayonara.